All day, every day, America is a mobile nation.
Almost every day we have contact with people driving under the influence, whether it's illicit or prescription drugs. It is a huge problem. In the morning, on your way to work, 1 in every 60 drivers around you is impaired.
We had our little main strip, was called Wesley Street. Everybody just ride up and down Wesley Street. Man, if you could drink a little beer or maybe smoke a little weed or whatever, oh man, you were doing big things at that time.
On your way home from work, up until 9 o'clock at night, that number increases to 1 in every 10 drivers around you is impaired. For the weekend, during the evening, it's 1 in every 4 drivers around you is impaired.
Is there a prevalence of marijuana in the state of Colorado? Absolutely there is. We're seeing an increase in cannabis in the blood of fatally injured drivers.
I had taken a whole bunch of Xanax that night. For some reason I realized that I was on the wrong side of the road, and I looked up and there was cars coming at me, and I veered off over the median and popped all 4 of my tires and went into a ditch.
I remember times when my main focus was trying to stay off the median. And then when I would get to my parking space, I would just bounce into it, you know. I had no business being on the road.
So I think when people think about medications and driving, that they're often thinking about kind of illegal drugs, but that's not true for the majority of people. And these are medications that are highly used in the population.
Increasingly, healthcare, safety, and law enforcement experts are pointing to a new, dangerous national trend. Driving under the influence of illicit drugs, over-the-counter pills, or even prescription medications. On any given day, the people driving next to you may present a challenge for your safety.
Drunk driving is no longer the leading cause of impaired car crashes.
In the past 4 years, the number of drug driving crashes in Ohio shot up by 25%.
More and more people are getting high, getting behind the wheel, and not thinking twice about it.
I'm 24 years old. I don't think I ever had a problem driving while I was smoking weed. For the past 5 or 6 years, I've been battling with different addictions. Specifically, I hit rock bottom with opiates, which are painkillers. I was raised in a middle-class family. My dad was a doctor, my mom was a nurse. My dad's always been an alcoholic. I didn't look at him as an alcoholic until I became an addict. Going into middle school, I experimented smoking weed, but it never went really overboard. Near the end of my junior year of high school, one friend in particular that I looked up to got me to try ecstasy for the first time, and that's kind of how my harder drug use started. I tried opiates for the first time, and the drugs made me feel amazing, and I didn't look at all the negative consequences of it, because I felt like I was in control. And I definitely had a lot of issues driving. In the last 5 years, I've totaled 4 cars. The night that I got my aggravated DUI, I was drunk and high on cocaine. I woke up from being passed out, and I was told that I almost ran my brother over because he was trying to stop me from driving away. I ended up veering off the road and hitting a barrier on the side of a highway. When I kind of came to, I was in the backseat of the cop car, and I have no memory of driving at all. I was blacked out. When I was doing drugs, I didn't really care about anybody but myself. I didn't really think about the risk I was to other people. In my situation, I couldn't live the way I was anymore. You get to a point in addiction where you don't really have a choice. It's either treatment or death, or treatment or incarceration. And for me, it was kind of a life or death thing. Until I went to residential treatment, my periods of sobriety were really, really short. I live in a sober living house with 7 other recovering addicts, and it gives me the support I need to continue in recovery. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety or being clean. That opposite of actual addiction is fellowship and connection. And it's to give you accountability for your actions.